Hello everyone, this is Paul Forsyth again with some practice tips for your Ferling etudes. Today we're talking about Ferling number 14 in D major. There's two main tips I want to work with you today with regard to this etude. First of all, it obviously just requires a lot of practice, slow practice, lots of metronome work because it's just filled with lots of 16th notes and articulations. But there's two more musical things that I want to work with you on. First of all, the other hard thing is not just there's a bunch of 16th notes, it's where you're going to breathe. There's only one rest in the whole etude, and that is on the second line. Okay, so I'm obviously going to breathe there. But after that, it gets a lot more tricky. There's not a rest from that point until the end. Now, on your copy, you might have some breath marks. Let me tell you where I breathe. Now, you can hear my breaths on my recording, so I would encourage you after you listen to this, if you haven't already, go then listen to it and see if you can hear these breaths. I'm not always doing what's written with the breaths. I breathe on the third line after the first note of the third measure. Okay, and that's probably written in. That's a breath mark that's probably on your part. The next one I do is probably not in your part. I breathe after the second measure of the fifth line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth line after the second measure. And that's what I'm going to demonstrate for you today. I think this is a really cool breath that I got from an oboe friend that they like to do. And obviously oboists play these etudes too. And I prefer this breath mark. So let me show you what it sounds like. So if you're going up to tempo, here's your tempo. I'm just going to do a quick excerpt on the fifth line here. Again, you can hear the full thing on the recording. So I'm starting on the fifth line here to demonstrate this breath. Let me do that again for you. Hopefully I play better. Okay, so I built in a little bit of retard there. Sometimes you have to turning the metronome off. It's not on. You have to retard to help set up your breathing and to create some space. It's the hard part. When you're practicing this with a metronome all the time, there's not space to breathe. And so you have to turn the metronome off and find those places to create breaths in there. So I like that one. It's musical. It's different. It's not just straight 16th notes all the way. Some people like to circular breathe this, but I like to kind of create a little bit more of a musical phrasing in there. And so that's what I've done. Listen to the full take. You can just, if you're already on the NSU Sax Studio YouTube channel, then you can find it there. Okay, it'll say Ferling Etude number 14. There's one other practice tip I want to help you with. I think aside from the breathing, the hardest part is the last line, second measure. Okay, those big leaps from the low D up to the high C. So let me give you some practice tips. Now this works for any awkward, hard technique you can do what I'm about to show you. I call them rhythm patterns. First of all, get rid of the articulations. Don't tongue them yet. We'll put that back in later. We're going to slur everything, okay? And so practice it nice and slow, all slurred. And then just practice each one first before I tell you the rhythm patterns. I'm just going over some other things. So do what I just did a few times, and then do this. Just practice first two notes, slow and then get faster. Second two notes. We're just really trying to get control of your fingers. Okay, now I insert doing rhythm patterns. Okay, the first rhythm pattern I do is short, long, long, short, long, short. Long, short, long, short, long. And I'll do that a couple of times, and then I'll reverse it. Short, long, short, long. So now the long notes are the high Cs. Okay, do that a couple of times. Okay, then the third rhythm pattern I do is one long note, then three short notes. Still all slurred, one long, and then three short. The last one I do is three short notes and then one long. So the last note of the grouping, of the four note grouping, is going to be long. In this case, they're both high Cs. And I'll practice those at different tempos, trying to get them faster, do them slow if you have trouble. Lots of examples like that. Now I'll do that before I practice the etude. Start with that, almost kind of like you're warming up I tell my students all the time, find your weaknesses. Find what's hard about these etudes. That's what's hard, so practice it first, and then worry about putting it in context within the etudes, and then you can start articulating it too. I've got lots of little tricks on learning techniques like this, and I also have this in a handout in terms of my rhythm patterns. So if you ever want that, all you can do is send me an email, and I'll get you a copy of that email, forsythp@nsula.edu. Thanks for joining us. Let me know if you have any questions.